Welcome back, guys. That's right. Our family finally did it. We got ourselves an older camper. We got ourselves a vintage 1983 Coachman, but 18-foot of floor space. So you know what that means. We got lots of projects ahead. It's a fixer-upper, but that's what we wanted. For this thing only being 18 feet long, it's kind of surprising that it had 2 doors. So I'm pretty excited. The people we bought this off of said that everything works, and thus far everything that we've come across has worked. We plugged it in earlier. The AC blasts, it's loud, but it had this thing cool in no time. Each light we've come across has worked so far. We're figuring out what our first project will be. We don't know yet. Someone had started remodeling this previously, just basically this back bedroom. So yeah, we got a little bit of work to do this weekend. Welcome back, guys. So today I'm going to dive in. I'm going to try to take care of a few things, try to start fixing a few things on this camper. Before we go have a little talk or we go through anything, I need to fix something on this. We need to start making headway, making improvements on it. So let's fix our first thing. And just like that, we're already improving her. I might get a larger screw and stick in there later. This is a little loose still, but at least we have a screw up here and our door handles on. All right, guys. So yesterday, I had a friend come over who is a big time camper, definitely knows a lot more about it than I do. If you haven't watched my videos before, I know nothing about RVs. I have tent camped my whole life. This is the first RV I've owned, so don't come to me if you are trying to find an expert's opinion on how you do things. So now we've cleared all the lines of antifreeze, which is a pretty simple concept. Next we need to see, but we noticed the pump keeps running. Pumps to these campers should not continuously run. So we kind of figured there might be a leak. So we left the pump running for, I would say, 5 to 10 minutes. And we just looked around, we're discovering other things with the camper. Because by leaving that pump running, it's pumping water through those lines. It's maybe not coming out the drain, but it's pumping the water in. And then sure enough, we finally found a leak right down there at that T. I don't know if it's the only leak or not, but that's the leak we found. So today I'm going to fix that. Should be a, never say it, but it should be a simple fix. It's under the sink. I guess when I say it should be a simple fix, it's in an easy to reach spot. But you know how things go. They're never as simple as they should be. This is all disheveled, by the way, because we're getting this system good to go, you know, so we're getting into everything. Okay, guys, so this is the piece that we're going to replace today, that joint. So we're going to try this quick connect. It's similar to a shark bite. You pop it in there, you push it as far in as you can. The only difference is this has this little collet that I'm going to slide on and put on there. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to set you guys in an angle to see this, but I'm going to do my best. But just so you know, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut these 3 lines off, connect it, pop the collets on. As simple as that, and I'm hoping that we don't have any leaks after the fact. So here we go. Anything is easy to reach or get to in a camper. Because I do not have much room to work. That line's gonna be, oh, what just happened? Well, there's my main leak. I realized it just now. Okay guys, so this toilet line, I said, so that's where the T, the right side goes to the toilet. The one going up goes to the sink. So that must be our cold water. Goes through to here. So I'm thinking what I need to do is disconnect this, get a new piece of pipe, of line, a longer piece, make a fitting or connection that goes to there, feed it through a longer one, and then disconnect this and put the quick connect on. Maybe give myself a little bit more space to work with. So let's see how much work it takes for me to get that off. All right, so just follow me here, guys, on this one, because it took a lot of thinking through. So this is the main spot that my water line failed. This is not a very good connection. It was down here, just beyond that T. It's only like 4 inches in there. So that T we're replacing anyways, because that was leaking as well. We're replacing it with the quick connect that's right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put that T on. The 2 lines that are currently there, they're good to go right now. We'll just put that connected. Now we're gonna take this piece of PEX, and I haven't had to buy anything. This is all stuff that was still in the camper. So you see, this piece is a pretty good distance longer. So this end is gonna go straight into that T. So now I'm eliminating this connection, which is behind the cabinet. It was pretty much right where that little vent is. That's where that connection is. So I'm eliminating one connection, but there's going to be one. Because then I'm going to cut this off, probably about here. So this line will connect to the PEX, and I might have to trim this PEX down, but I'm going to keep the full length for now. And I'm going to connect it with this quick connection that was also in the camper. So we have just moved where we've connected because there was already a connection to the right of that T, and then there's another one here. We're eliminating that one, so it's straight line all the way through to here. So we will have the exact same number of connections in the end. However, I believe this coupling is going to be a lot better off than this one, which just had like a little band around it as well. And this connection will be exposed. It will be outside from behind that cabinet. I call that a good thing, because like it was right now, I didn't even see that connection before. It was back there buried. Now it's going to be over here. If I have a leak, I'm going to see it very easily because it's behind my toilet. So it's not like it's out in the most obvious open spot, but it's going to be in a spot where I can work on it, where I can see it and catch it when it has a problem. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so I was super happy. I was super ecstatic. And then I saw that down there and I'm like, wait a minute, where's that go? I don't know if that goes to the kitchen sink or what. So I'm a little disheveled now. We gotta figure it out. Okay guys, so I hate how this is going already, but we gotta do this and I think we'll be all right. We'll see what happens in the end. So there's just gonna be so many couplings. So far I haven't added any. I think in the end I'm gonna be adding 1 or 2 actually, but it's just frustrating. I decided I got to start connecting stuff back up because I'm going to have parts everywhere. So anyways, I put it, there's an actual true genuine shark bite, you know, with the metal fitting and everything. It doesn't take the little plastic coupling like these do. I used it, extended this blue PEX, reconnected the toilet line. It's not connected to anything on this end, but the shark bite is in there a little bit. I needed to do that. So I'm ready to go there. That joint that was just a really bad old, you know, band joint, the T, 2 of the lines are back on. So this is going to be the one. So I need to connect it to what goes to the toilet. And I don't know if you can see in there right now, but yeah, what goes underneath this to the sink, the cold water to the kitchen sink. That line is tight. And then I come through to here and it's tight. I can't pull it out or extend it any at all. And in fact, there's one coupling right there at the bottom of the floor, and I'm afraid of losing this pipe down there through the flooring. I've gone underneath the camper. It's not exposed underneath. I don't want to tear up the floor, but I need more space to do it over there. I need more space. So I'm gonna have a T here. It's gonna connect to another T with a very short piece, just like it was before, but we're using these more robust couplings, quick connect couplings. So I need to get more length out of this so that I can get it up through there. You know what that means? That means that gray line there, I need to put in another extension piece. So in the end, I'm replacing, let's think through this. I'm replacing 2 T-joints. I'm moving where that extension piece was on the one that goes to the toilet, and I put a shark bite instead of the, so I'm replacing 3 joints, but with a better system. So I'm actually only going to be adding here, and that's to extend. But the question is, if I put that, I got to find a place to extend it without having to put 2 pieces in, because one of those little extension couplings, it's gonna give me a little bit more room, but not a ton. And so I'm trying to think about that right now. So a little bit of good news, guys. Feels like some of the first good news of the day. So that's one nice thing about these couplings. Reusable. I popped this off. This was what was connected underneath the sink. Pop that off, and it comes off. So this is our old piece that was going to the toilet. Remember, this is an inlet, so don't be grossed out about it. It's just water that went into flush toilet and actually never actually went to the toilet. So we're going to extend. I mean, I got more of the blue PEX, but I'm just going to use this. So I'm putting that in there. So now I have this extra amount of space, and now I'm just going to take this coupling and add it to the line that went to that cold water, reconnect the exact same coupling. Shouldn't have any problems with leakage there, we would hope. So I'm going to have this amount of extra space to pull that T out, and then put a new T joint in there to replace the old one that wasn't all that great. I hate the amount of couplings and junctions and joints that are in this thing, but short of completely replumbing, and I got the PEX to replumb the whole thing. True, if there's no joints, you're not going to have, it's hard to have leaks without joints. But yeah, feeding like through underneath here, that's just a task that I don't know. I know I could get it done, but do you want to do that? I don't even know how I do it without taking the floor out. I'm sure I could figure it out, but it does not sound like any kind of fun. Feeding this whole thing, redoing it. I tell you what, if this was a camper that was completely gutted, it's almost a curse that it's in pretty decent shape. If this was a gut job, yeah, it'd be super easy. Replumb the whole thing. If you take the floors and the walls out, redo that PEX, one line, you know, very few connections. It'd be a cake walk. Anyways, I'm running on. So I'm going to extend this line down here. You saw. Push that in as far as it'll go. Pull back just a little bit. Take this. Oh, try not to break it because it is a little bit fragile. Clip it on. Both ends. And there you go. Now I have a little bit of slack. I should be able to push that through underneath the camper. I'm going to reconnect that water line, push that through, and I'll be back to you. I apologize, guys, for just popping in with updates. It is really hard to get the angles in here and get lighting for you to see what I'm doing, let alone do the work, with a camera in the way. It's pretty much impossible, at least for me it is right now. So update again, this side, it's not hooked to the water yet, but this side of the cold sink is connected. You see right there my coupling to give me an extension, gave me about 1 foot. Work through the floor, a little bit more space. You see I had to hook it with this strap, and then I pulled it out, and of course there was an elbow underneath the floor. It's PEX line, but there was an elbow anyways, just another joint for whatever reason. So we have everything here now. I don't have a ton of space, but here's what has to happen. I need a T. This one's going to go down. One end's going to go to this blue line here, which goes to the toilet. I'll end up cutting that blue line down in size. I don't need it quite as big. And then that T will connect to this T. This is the cold main. Let's call it cold main. That's cold bathroom sink. So we're flowing We're gonna flow up to the bathroom sink and then to this next joint, which will get us either the toilet or down through the floor to the kitchen sink. So one more joint to put on, connect that T to this T, and we're done. All right, guys, I'm all sweaty. The camper hasn't even been cleaned yet, but it's an even more disheveled mess because of the work I've been doing. I got stuff everywhere. That's just the bedding. It's up so I could get to the tank and whatnot. But the project, we have not turned on the pump yet, but the line that I broke off, which I think was leaking to begin with. All right, so let's talk through all of these. This T connection is a more robust connection now. That was the little, as we started, just the tiny little bands seemed like, you know, not a very good connection to me, like very likely to leak. Down over here, in there, was the T that I didn't even know existed because it was right at the bottom. It was also a weak one. As soon as I started touching these lines, I broke that. So it was broke off. I think that one may have been the bigger of the two. I think both were leaking originally. I think that was the bigger of the two. So it's fixed. There is a shark bite back in this wall and that's a true shark bite. It was the only one in the bag that the previous owner had. So that gave me extension. So that is actually equaling out, same joints as we had before, just in a different spot. This is all connected. Hopefully the screw-on lines here, I don't have any leak issues. I might, after we get started, we'll see. We went under the floor, pulled the line up. I don't have much lighting in there. Just a small 1 foot extension. That cold line is connected again. Everything's connected. Hopefully we have no leaks. So now we're gonna turn on the water pump. Here's how we know if we have leaks or not. There's gonna be two things we're looking for right now. Though there's no air, there's all air in these lines right now. They're not pressurized. Pump's gonna run for a couple minutes to get this thing up and going. The hot water tank, I don't know if it's got water in it or not. So it is gonna run for a few minutes. Ideally, it should not be running constant though. Also, we're gonna turn on our water and it's gonna sputter. It's gonna be spitting the air out of the lines. We should get to a point of a steady stream flow that has no issues. I'm really hoping we hear that pump shut off after a couple minutes, and I'm really hoping we have a good steady stream of water. It's been a pretty big project. So this RV being an older one, or this camper being an older one, didn't have a big old control panel with all kinds of stuff. I don't have a water fill level or anything like that. What I do have is this one switch here for the pump. We're gonna turn it on. It's gonna be loud. We'll see how long it runs. I hear that, which to me is air leaving the lines, I would think. This is hot. Not a ton of pressure, but it's flowing. We'll come back to that one. This is cold. This is one that I replaced. This is the lines we were working on today, so we know there's a ton of air in there. I don't think we did anything with the hot water line at all. It's not really sputtering. It's not got a ton of pressure, but we also just, just turned the pump on. Pretty good stream. Turn that off for a minute. Oh crap, I do have a leak somewhere in there. Alright, so I gotta figure this guy out. It's a fickle thing, plumbing. That was the joint that was leaking. It was leaking pretty significantly a minute ago. Turned the pump off, got down on the floor again, pulled it out as far as I could, unclipped that little clip on there, pulled on the line, pushed on the line, didn't even get it all the way out because it's a tight fit and everything in here is really hard to deal with. Pushed it in as hard as I could, pulled a little bit, put the clip back on. I'll let you guys know. Okay guys, so this is where I'm at. Let's go ahead and turn that off. So this is where I'm at. I left this pump on off camera 15 minutes. It never shut off. I looked under every cabinet. I looked, listened, I looked, I got under there with lights. The shark bite that's hidden, I could actually get my head back there enough and look in there. That's not leaking. Nothing was leaking. No water anywhere. I came up with two things. There was, and it's not very bright in here, but right here on the pump in that spot, right there, where the silver and black meet. There was some water on my pump. Went outside, crawled around on the floor. I did see a little bit of water dripping, like basically out of this wheel well area underneath. But as I looked under the sink and I looked under this sink in here, nothing. I saw a tiny little bit of water here. And this runs for 15 minutes and the water line wasn't open. And finally I did see some water dripping from this joint again. I've cleaned that up. I took it all, took that coupling off, tightened it up again. And so then the pump is turned off and I come over to the sink. And of course right now I just took this off. The pump's off right now, as a matter of fact, too. And I had water just shot out of there and it slowly slowed down. I believe where I'm at is that the pump itself, a sensor or the pump itself, whatever, is broken, and so it's just going to keep pumping. So I would say right now I can use it as an on-demand pump. Hey, we want to take a shower. You turn the pump on, you go and you take your shower or whatever. I also believe that I can look into a new pump. You know, it's sitting right there. It's not very big. Obviously a couple plumbing lines, a couple electrical lines. So that's what I think's wrong. Let me know if you guys know different from listening to this story, this one. So anyways, the leaks are all fixed. The only time it leaked was I believe when that line was under extreme pressure, because that pump was running for 15 straight minutes and there was no water coming out. In fact, I had a little dribble from this sink. So these were, and I kept tightening them and kept tightening them. So this sink is a point where, you know, the pressure was giving in somewhat. And I think down there on that coupling I was just talking to you about, the pressure was giving in a little bit. Like I said, that was after like 15 minutes. So I feel good about fixing the leaks. I'm confident the leaks have been fixed. If there are any leaks in this thing, they're very, very tiny little drips. I do think maybe I need a new water pump. I can use it right now, but I'm sure that looks awesome, frisking my hair back like that. I can use it right now as an on-demand pump, but I am going to look into getting a new pump. So I think that's enough for one day, guys. Let me know what you guys think. If you think you know what is going on with this water pump and with this water, I don't think I have a leak. If you think it is the pump or whatever, or if there's something else I haven't thought about, comment down below. Let me know. Maybe you guys can help me sort this one out. Otherwise, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.